Hi, I'm Paul Seabridge. I'm a global entrepreneur, best-selling author on Amazon with my book Buy, Build, Sell, and founder of Opulentia Capital, a global mergers and acquisitions firm that's transacted on over 100 deals. So welcome to day one of Buy, Build, Sell, where I'm going to share with you over the next 7 days, one email per day, how you can use the virtual merger and option agreements deal structure to create a steady income stream within the next 6 weeks and build a large group that you can exit from for 6 or 7 figures within the next 12 months and of course create a successful exit for a business owner. So what we're going to cover. So a virtual merger is effectively you group together 2 or more companies, usually it's 4 or 5, and you agree to merge them all together to form a larger group. And if a certain set of conditions are met, then that merger will complete. And the conditions are in that context that you're going to help them sell as a larger group within a set timescale for a set price. So rewinding a step, before we look at a real example, most SMEs listed for sale don't sell. That's a fact. Those that do, research shows that typically those SMEs sell for a multiple of 2.5 times profit, and not all of the funds are generally received on closing. Usually 46% of that is payable on completion, and then there is usually some form of earnout or seller financed part of the structure. The reason that SMEs don't sell and that they sell for a low multiple is really because of the high risk. They're usually successful because of the business owner. So when the owner sells up and leaves, there's a very real risk that revenues and profits can decline. Whereas if you look at larger companies, they typically sell for 5 to 8 times multiple. Why? Well, this is because they have a talented management team probably that's running the business day to day. So it's not reliant on just a business owner. Not all the goodwill is tied up in that owner. And they'll have a diverse revenue stream. So put simply, if there's a group of 10 companies and 3 of them have a bad year next year, you've still got 7 that are successful, profitable and growing, which obviously makes the risk for a buyer or investor much less. So therefore, in a virtual merger, you can explain this concept to a business owner, and your pitch to them is, if I can get you a sale price of X within Y, X being the price, Y being the timescale, will you sell? The sale price will really be dependent on the industry. So for example, I've done this in the marketing industry, which is highly acquisitive. There are a number of private equity backed groups that will acquire for 5 to 8 times multiple if the group has got a diverse revenue stream and capability. Recruitment industry is another that is full of private equity backed big operators, as well as some global conglomerates that are all under pressure from shareholders to grow, and acquisition is the way to go. The risk, of course, to the seller is the time that they're going to invest in the process with you, but unless you secure a sale at the right price, then I guess the risk is minimal. Now, I'm not going to get into today the structure, the sort of legal structure. Basically, we're going to just sort of really share the concept today. So there are a few ways to structure it. One way is to set up a new holding company owned by you with a virtual merger agreement that says if you achieve X sale price by Y date, then they'll agree to tag along in the sale, and your holding company will take a percentage of the sale price. What that percentage is obviously up to you to negotiate, but we'll get into all of that on the commercial side of things in a few days' time. Option agreement is similar but different. It's effectively a contract between your company and the shareholders of the target that says if you achieve a sale of X by Y timescale, then they agree to sell. So whilst it sounds the same, they are 2 very different legal agreements. A virtual merger effectively gives you control that if you do what you say you're going to do, they'll legally tag along in the sale. And an option agreement is a different type of legal agreement that whilst it achieves the same outcome, you're more acting as a broker of the transaction in return for a fee. So in a virtual merger, if it's structured correctly, you'll get a percentage of the group as shares. So rather than a fee, which depending on the jurisdiction you're operating in, may be more tax efficient. So your pitch would be similar, but the distinct differences will really depend on the risk appetite of the business owner and their belief in you delivering. So this is the deal structure, particularly useful when a business owner has got high expectations on valuation or deal structure. So educating them on why SMEs as a standalone isn't going to achieve what they want versus a larger group can, and that you're an expert in putting these things together. So tomorrow we're going to cover sourcing, so I'll look forward to seeing you then.